We want to discuss autos as well, and for that we also have a guest joining in. We have Kale with us to talk about the disruption that seems to be happening at the entry-level segment. Now, Ola announced the company's foray into the electronic motorcycle segment with the launch of the Roadster series. The bikes are, there's a range of different bikes. The portfolio has 3 different models. The starting point or the starting price is 75,000 rupees. So what does this mean for the entry level motorbike segment? We have Kale with us. He is from Elara Capital. Jay, so we all saw the bikes last week, and I'm just going to go back a couple of weeks earlier when Bajaj Auto was really trying to take the competition head on here with their hybrid launch, right? And they were saying that they want to make inroads in that sub 125cc segment, which has traditionally been a very stronghold for Hero Motor. Now you have Ola with this new challenger at 75,000 rupees. What is the kind of disruption? What are the kind of market share shifts that we are potentially looking at?
Yeah, I mean, good morning. We've had these launches from Ola, and we've seen in the EV segment, EV two-wheeler segment, till now the disruption has happened, or the penetration increase has happened mainly on the scooter side. Motorcycles to a certain extent, that from the consumer standpoint, is a little different customer profile. We've had, scooters, the average daily running is relatively lower. Just about 20 odd kilometers per day is what the industry standard is. Whereas motorcycles, they are much higher. Motorcycles are used much more in the semi-urban and rural areas. So that requires a higher range, more rugged motorcycle. And one needs to see how the this EV motorcycle, while the price is attractive, whether it ticks the other boxes of the customer profile of motorcycles, which is kind of different than what a scooter customer profile is. So yes, the price is attractive, but one needs to see how the acceptance of this product is from the different customer profile.
Jay, but you'd agree, right? I mean, when we talk about two-wheelers, right, it's mostly motorbikes. Scooters is a very small segment, and Ola wasn't scooters so far, and now they are coming into what is the bulk of the two-wheeler market, which is motorcycles. So in that sense, I mean, it'll cause some ripples. We don't know, as you said, adoption with a product and all of that, of course, but it's out there now.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, scooters is 33% of the overall industry, two-wheeler industry. Motorcycles is the bulk, like you said, 60-65% of the industry is motorcycles. Till now, we've had historically just one player, Revolt, which was mainly into EV motorcycles, but that did not pick up as well as what one would have thought of. So one needs to see, like I said, the customer profile in motorcycles is totally different than a scooter customer profile. And while price is one aspect, definitely it will push the other OEMs. It will seriously nudge the other OEMs to launch their versions of EV motorcycles as well at a particular price point, which actually happened in the EV scooters as well. Because of the startups pushing, the incumbents also now are ramping up on their EV scooter portfolio. The same could happen on the EV motorcycles as well. But like I said, while EV scooter penetration,
do we already know? Have you heard from all these companies, TVS, Bajaj, Hero, etc., about their EV motorcycles yet? I mean, in their calls and.
No, I mean, they've spoken of product launches in the EV scooter side. I'm pretty sure they will be working, in the background for EV motorcycles as well. Nothing that has been spelled out in the public domain in terms of when their launch pipeline is.
Well, Jay, I just wanted your thoughts on Ola Electric mobility as a stock itself. Ever since the IPO, the stock has rallied, 75, 80 odd %, nearly doubled. Market cap close to 60,000 crores. Yes, fundamentally, everyone's looking at the electric vehicle story and they are making announcements to that extent as well. But how much do you think is a function of the way the market forces are right now, and how much of that is fundamental? The reason I say this is because I'm just looking at the number of locked in shares. 83% of the outstanding equity is locked in. It's just 17% of float which is available for trade. That causes a big move in, the number of shares which are bid for versus the price at which the stock comes at you. What are your thoughts on the stock fundamentally at 60,000 crore market cap and a big move that it's already seen?
Well, I think absolutely. You spelled it out rightly that there is this liquidity thing. 83% is locked in, and that's why you see quite stark movements. In the initial days of the listing. But there are positives and there are negatives. Of course, being the positives, they are one of the leaders in terms of electric scooters in the country. Their ramp up has been pretty impressive. In a very short span, they have ramped up quite well on the EV two-wheeler side, and now they are going ahead with the EV motorcycles as well. But one needs to be cautious about their cell venture as well. Globally, cell prices have crashed. How much of a benefit will that cells be for their internal consumption versus peers? That needs to be looked at. The cell, stability in terms of yields is also something that needs to be looked at. And hence, once the cell manufacturing comes on full stream, how much of that really gives in terms of cost advantage is something that is, still, execution is one of the key risks for Ola over here on the cell side. On the two-wheeler side, they've relatively done better off. But cells is something that will be keenly watched. So I would want this, this liquidity-led rally to kind of settle down. We currently don't have it under coverage, so we would be able to give an official view.
Okay, thanks very much, Jay. That's an important and very interesting point because, yes, Bhavesh Agarwal has been talking about the cell venture really feeding into profitability because, cells are a huge part of the cost. But you're saying with this crash in global cell pricing, we need to see how the dynamics play out over there. So important point, take that. Thank you very much for joining in with this quick take.